What's up everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video part. I'm so excited to upload this one for you guys because for this talk around the block, I'm going to be ranking each and every Star Wars film from best to worst. Since last week I gave you a top 10 list of my favorite movies of all time, I figured why not do the same thing with the Star Wars franchise. Now before we go any further, this is just my personal opinion of the Star Wars franchise. There are some movies on this list that I think that are pretty good, and there's some movies on this list that I think that are not so pretty good. All in all, this is just my personal opinion, and the way I see it is that given the option, like if I can watch this Star Wars movie or this Star Wars movie, I'm going to be basing it off of that. Like if I had to choose between, I don't know, like Sith and Phantom Menace, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to watch Revenge of the Sith more rather than Phantom Menace. But all in all, your list could look totally different, and that's okay, that's cool. So let's start the video. Now there are 11 movies in this franchise. It's sitting at number 11 at the very bottom. I have Solo: A Star Wars Story. For me, there are good movies and there are bad movies. And then there's 50 Feet of Crap, and then there's Solo. And so for me, I really didn't want a Solo film. I was so kind of bummed that like, we're thinking like, really, we're gonna get a Solo spin-off film? And I saw the movie and I was like, yeah, we really didn't need that. I really wasn't much of a big fan of the movie. I thought it was okay, but all in all, I mean, it's Star Wars, and I mean, that ending, I kind of like the ending. I mean, I thought it was okay. That cool cameo. I wish they would have done more with that, but I did like, what's her name? Daenerys Targaryen's character. I forgot her. Kira. I like Kira in the film. She's pretty cool. But a whole movie based on Han Solo, wasn't much of a big fan of it. But if you're a Han Solo fan, I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy it just as much as anybody else would. I'm just glad that other people can enjoy it. And for me, I was like, not really. With that being said, let's get to the top 10 Star Wars movies of all time. And sitting at number 10, I actually have The Phantom Menace. Now for me, it's like I'd rather watch The Phantom Menace over Solo because at least there are some Jedi in there. You get some cool lightsaber action. And the reason why I have it at number 10 is because, I mean, the majority of the film I have to deal with little Anakin, I have to deal with little Padme, and I have to deal with Jar Jar. So I'm like, okay then, I guess I mean, that's an improvement, but I mean, it's not really much of a good film, but at least I get some of the Darth Maul stuff, and I really love the young Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon stuff. That being said, I put that number 10, and at least the end fight's pretty cool. I love seeing Duel of the Fates with Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon all going at each other. That's pretty dang cool. Now sitting at number 9, right above Phantom Menace, I'm actually putting The Rise of Skywalker right there. Simply because, I mean, look, The Rise of Skywalker, I really wanted to enjoy it. I really did. I thought it was pretty cool. There were some cool aspects of it. But what really killed it for me was, oh man, how they handled the Emperor Palpatine stuff. I was so disappointed. And I felt like basically The Rise of Skywalker was basically damage control because a lot of people didn't like The Last Jedi. I liked The Last Jedi. I really liked The Last Jedi. I thought it was pretty cool. And just the way how like they dealt with it, and I mean, come on, really, like I really liked Rose Tico from The Last Jedi. I liked her character. I liked where she was going. And I liked the little dynamics that she and Finn had. And in The Rise of Skywalker, she's not even in the movie. Basically, they basically almost took her out of the whole movie. And I'm like, oh man, really? Why'd you do that? I was enjoying it so much, and I liked. Well, I'll get to my opinion on The Last Jedi later. But for now, I mean, I'll put Rise of Skywalker over Phantom Menace because, hey, at least I don't have to do that much Jar Jar. But then again, I had to deal with a lot of like freaking Emperor Palpatine, and I feel like there's a lot of plot holes in that movie that I kind of wish that I hadn't seen yet. But the next movie on our list is actually Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Now for me, I'll put Attack of the Clones over The Rise of Skywalker, all because of one word: Jedi. There are so many Jedi in this movie. I mean, yes, you have the young Anakin, like horrible lines in the movie, but to make up for that, you do get to see Obi-Wan go toe-to-toe with Jango Fett on Kamino, and then see the creation of the clone army, which would begin the Clone Wars. I mean, that's pretty damn cool. Also, you do get to see like a lot, like the Jedi Coliseum fight, which is so cool. I love seeing like Shaak-Ti, Master Luminara, and you see that one freaking dinosaur-looking Jedi that gets shot by Jango Fett in the film. And then you also get to see a little bit of Count Dooku. But the main thing, one of the reasons why I really love the Attack of the Clones is because I get to see Yoda wielding a lightsaber for the first time. I remember when I saw that as a kid, I was like, oh my god, it's so freaking awesome. Seeing Yoda just go like, okay, you know what, screw that. You want to throw force lightning at me? You want to throw some shit at me? All right, fine, I'll do it all. And it's like, you know what, let's just get down and dirty. Let's go to the lightsabers. And him going toe to toe with Count Dooku, that's the coolest thing ever, that reveal. And he just goes, and just goes straight on at Count Dooku, and how he's jumping around, doing all these flips. I mean, I gotta put that over Rise of Skywalker. That had some pretty dang good action. So while I have Attack of the Clones sitting at number 8 on the list, for number 7, I actually have Revenge of the Sith. And simply because I think Revenge of the Sith is the best movie out of all the prequels, because I love seeing how Anakin made that turn from being good to being Darth Vader. And I think, yeah, I like seeing like the Yoda stuff, like him on Kashyyyk, seeing Obi-Wan go against General Grievous. And while I really enjoyed the movie, there are some stuff I didn't enjoy. I mean, like, yeah, the story was kind of a bit all over the place. I really wish it would just focus on Anakin alone. But when you really think about it, you really need to see how this affected Yoda and Obi-Wan, because they play a key role, like, in like the sequel, and like well, I guess you call it the original trilogy, but then again it is a sequel trilogy because you went from prequels to like the new the Empire era. But anyway, I really liked Revenge of the Sith because I think John Williams just crushes it in this movie. I love seeing like the battle heroes because that song is so good. Da 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 da. Well, that playing where you have Obi-Wan and Anakin just go full at each other while they're on Mustafar with the lava going on, the volcanoes exploding behind them. That's pretty cool. And then you also get Yoda going up against the Emperor. That's pretty cool. And they still put a little bit of Duel of Fates right there. That's pretty cool. So out of all the prequel movies, I do consider Revenge of the Sith as the best one out of all of them. With that being said, for number 6 on this list, now this is the point where things are about to get very controversial from this point forward. At number 6, I actually have Return of the Jedi. Now, for me, like, I love the original trilogy. I freaking love them. But it's just how, like, for me, like, Return of the Jedi was kind of like, it was good. It was good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. It was just good. Now, while I really enjoyed, like, the Luke Skywalker and Vader stuff in that movie, the Han Solo and Leia stuff was like, alright. The Endor stuff was okay. However, there is one point in the movie that I freaking love. It doesn't involve Luke. Doesn't involve Han, doesn't involve Leia. It actually involves Lando and Admiral Akbar. It's the scene where everyone's getting ready to go attack the second Death Star, and you hear that beautiful John Williams music, dun 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 dun, and you hear that, and you see all the X-wings just getting ready to launch the attack on the Death Star, and everyone's ready, everyone's getting pumped up, and then you hear like the dun 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 dun. I'm thinking, for me, it's like that musical piece is just pure beautiful. It's so amazing. I love hearing that, like the trumpets, and I love hearing like all the other instruments play out in that scene, and then all of a sudden it builds up, and I love hearing like how the music is just building up while everyone's starting to suspect something, and then you hear Lana going like, everyone pull up, pull up, pull up, the shields are still up, and then all of a sudden you hear everyone's going like, oh my god, look, the Empire's here, and then it's like, and you hear Admiral Akbar say the most famous words, "It's a trap!" I love seeing that part. I don't know why, but I guess the music in that scene, it just freaking nails it. I mean, I love that scene. Every time my brother's watching Return of the Jedi, I'm like, I'll occasionally pay attention from here and there, do some things around the house, but whenever that scene comes up, I drop what I'm doing and I come straight in front of the TV and just watch it. Alright, with that out of the way, it's time to move on to my top 5 favorite Star Wars movies of all time. And sitting at number 5 is Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now for me, I really like that movie because, I mean, I know a lot of people give crap about like Rey being like this Mary Sue character. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool how she got very powerful from when we first saw her, she was very like, she was just the scavenger, and at the very end, she's going toe to toe with Kylo Ren. But what I really like about that movie is like the homage and the oh wow moments that I got when I was watching in the theater. And for me, like, some of the oh wow moments was the Millennium Falcon reveal, because I remember, like, when I was watching the theater for the first time with a whole group of Star Wars fans, I love the part where it's just like going, we're not gonna go on that one, that one's garbage, and the jumper gets like freaking blown out of the sky. They stop and they're like, the garbage will do. The camera just pans over to the Millennium Falcon, and we're like, oh, we were freaking out. Oh my god, I love that. And I love, like, the immediate when they start flying, they're like just crashing it, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're screwing us. And one thing is that I kept thinking, I could fly that thing good, but then again, I also thought, like, I probably would crash it on my first try. And then when I went to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, I got to a chance to live out that dream. And what happened? I was crashing the Millennium Falcon, just going. My brother's on the other controls, and he's just getting everything left to right. Like, goes. I thought it was pretty funny. But anyway, another oh wow moment I really liked from The Force Awakens is, unfortunately, is that Han Solo scene. Spoiler if you haven't seen The Force Awakens, but when Kylo Ren's like, I'm being torn apart, and he's like holding onto his lightsaber in front of his dad, and he just goes, and then seeing Han Solo die right there, I was like, I mean, this is like, okay, I'm gonna say this right now. When I watched this in the theater, I literally stood up and was like, no! Like, if anything, I was reliving like the Obi-Wan scene from Phantom Menace, where he watched Qui-Gon get killed. I'm right behind the shield beam, whatever, and I'm like, no! And so, yeah, another oh wow moment I really had from the film. It's obviously, again, spoiler if you haven't seen The Force Awakens, it's when, like, basically, well, first of all, I really liked, like, that snow fight in the last act of the film, because for some reason the lighting of the lightsabers makes it look so beautiful. I mean, out of all the Star Wars films, they never really nailed down like the lighting and shading that lightsaber can cause in darkness. I think they did, I think, it best with what's it called, Attack of the Clones, when Anakin went up against Dooku. But in The Force Awakens, you do get to see how the light affects like the color of things, like when you see in darkness and on the snow too. So seeing like the light illuminate Finn and Kylo Ren, and then at the very end where you see that those two of them are fighting, I thought it's pretty cool when you see Finn just goes, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, you freaking fight for Han Solo, man, kick this little boy's butt. And so I like seeing that. And then, yes, again, spoiler if you haven't seen The Force Awakens, but when like Kylo Ren's reaching for the lightsaber, and it's like, and then you see the lightsabers go fly through the air, and he just goes, and it's caught by Rey. I'm like, we were like screaming like, oh my god, this is freaking awesome. Seeing her just goes, boosh, boosh, and then everyone there just, everyone was just screaming and cheering, and I love that, like, the music that plays too, it's like da 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 after like Rey catches the lightsaber, and it goes boom boom boom, like it plays the theme that like Luke saw when his aunt and uncle were burned, and so you see that going in sync with like the lightsabers going off, and then you see a Kylo Ren light up his before the two of them go at it in the snow. I thought that was pretty cool, and that's why I put The Force Awakens at number 5 on this list. Now, sitting at number 4 on this list is actually Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. For me, it's like, I really liked what they did for this film. Not only did they bring us back to the Empire, bring us so many good memories, but they also gave us so many good characters, starting with Jyn Erso, then Cassian Andor, K2SO, and then the whole gang. I thought it was so cool, and everyone had basically had their own particular like role in the film. Like Bodhi was the pilot, he was the engineer. You had I forgot that one guy's name with the big machine gun. He was basically the tank of the group. He was the heavy gunner. Then you had the other guy who was like the martial artist. Then you had Jyn Erso, she was a little bit of everything. You had Cassian Andor, who was representing the rebels. You had K2SO, who could hack into the freaking Empire. So everyone had their own job. And so like watching the whole group come together in that film, and then all of a sudden at the very end, like, spoilers if you haven't seen Rogue One, but like at the very end when each of them are getting picked off one by one, it's pretty heartbreaking. I mean, I was like, for me, it's like the hardest one for me would always be K2SO, who's like, climb, you can still reach the tower, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, you hear Cassian go, Kato, no, goodbye. And he just smashes the control panel, whatever, and he just dies. I was like, oh no. And that's when I thought, like, this is gonna get real now, because then after that death, you start seeing everyone get taken out left and right. And so after watching the whole film, seeing how they're delivering the Death Star plans to the rebellion, watching that whole movie reminded me a lot of Halo Reach. So you haven't played Halo Reach, the story is basically the prequel to the Halo franchise, where you play as a Spartan on Planet Reach, and you're basically encountering the Covenant for the first time. But at the very end, your final mission is to deliver a package to the ship that's carrying Master Chief, and that package is Cortana. And so watching Rogue One, you're basically seeing how this whole like Band of Brothers sort of thing is delivering like the package that would eventually lead to the downfall of the Empire. And I remember after watching the whole movie, I actually played one of the songs from the trailers of Halo Reach. If you remember, it's called Delivery of Hope, which is the live action trailer of Halo Reach. And if you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend you Google it right now. Type up Halo Reach Delivery of Hope trailer, and after watching Rogue One and seeing that live action Halo Reach trailer, oh my god, it gives you the feels. And even the music, dun 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 dun. Seeing that, I'm thinking like, wow, I really wish they played that song for Rogue One. But anyway, I really like Rogue One. I thought it was really cool. I think it's a step up from The Force Awakens, and that's why I knew, like, okay, Disney's moving in the right direction with this, because 2 words, Darth Vader. I mean, oh my god, just seeing Darth Vader walk up to Krennic on Mustafar, I mean, it's pretty cool. Him just giving the Force choke behind him, that's pretty cool. But I mean, like, the ending of the movie is just, I never chef kiss anything, but I will chef kiss this moment. It's like spoilers if you haven't seen Rogue One, but at the very end of the movie, you do see the Death Star plans get delivered to the rebels, and then you see like Darth Vader go like, okay, no, screw it, prepare a boarding party, and he goes on that ship, and all you hear is copper, followed by him igniting his red lightsaber in pitch black, and seeing that, it's like, oh my god, this is the greatest Vader moment of all time, because seeing him just go vroom, 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 chopping rebels left and right, lifting one up in the air, chopping a few other ones, then going behind him and just whoop, cuts the one on the ceiling above him. That's so freaking cool. And seeing the rebels, it was like, oh my god. And like seeing this in the theater, we were like, oh, like another great oh wow moment. And seeing them just go, here, take it, and then just seeing Vader just cut that dude in half, and then seeing the rebels just like run like hell to the ship, and they're just like closing the door behind them, launch. And then you see the ship, Tantive 5 or Tantive 4, I can't remember, but it's the ship that we see in A New Hope, and just launch, and they're escaping the Empire. But then you see Vader like at the very edge of his ship, and you just see him go like dun 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 dun, playing the Empire theme in the background. I thought like, oh my god, this is so cool. And then again, the movie one-ups itself again, because at the very end, the very last shot you see is like, you see the rebels go like, Your Highness, the plans are right here. And then all of a sudden you see like young Princess Leia, like her back facing toward the camera. I'm like, oh my god, oh! And then you see like, she turns over and we're thinking, oh my god, is this gonna be just another actor? No, they freaking digitized Carrie Fisher's face onto this thing. Like just how it was in A New Hope. And you see her, I'm like, oh! And then she goes, what does it mean? Hope. And then just before the ship makes the jump to light speed, and then ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. So yeah, I really like Rogue One a lot. Now with that being said, at number 3 on my Star Wars list is The Last Jedi. I know a lot of you are getting ready, like you're readying your pitchforks and lining up your torches right now, and I'm pretty much expecting like an angry mob any minute right now. But honestly, despite all the hate that people give this movie, I think it's the most gutsy movie ever. They really made a really, like, they really changed the direction of the Star Wars movies, and in my opinion, I think did it in a good way, because man, it just like whatever you thought what was gonna happen, it just flipped it over and inside out. And the way I perceive this is that, like, the way I see this whole franchise, you had Force Awakens, which was like introducing you back to the Star Wars universe, giving you some good oh wow moments, good homages to the original trilogy. And then when you get The Last Jedi, it's like, okay, we're gonna kick into high gear right now. We're gonna take you to a whole new world. And seeing like that, it also kind of reminded me of like the Halo franchise, where you had Halo 1, and it took you to this whole new world. But then with Halo 2, it kind of flipped the whole like way you perceive things, because not only you're playing as Master Chief, but you're also playing as the bad guy, the Arbiter. And so the way I see this movie was like, okay, yeah, I really dug how they handled Luke Skywalker. I mean, like, that's just kind of how he would be. I mean, like, if you're like an old man whose like academy got destroyed by your nephew who killed a bunch of students, I mean, yeah, I can't blame the guy. The dude's like freaking like, I can understand why the dude was like getting ready to commit suicide. But I also love like the teachings he gives to Rey. Okay, now spoiler alert if you haven't seen The Last Jedi, but I love like the like dynamic between Rey and Kylo when like their minds are linked. I thought that was very, very creative. I love that. Like her like in the rain, and then like, Kylo Ren on his ship, and he just wipes his face with his hand, and then you see like the rain on his hand. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then also like seeing like how Luke, Kylo Ren are giving their own perspective on how Ben Solo became Kylo Ren. I thought that was very, very creative. And what I also like about this is that like you do get to see a lot more Snoke in this movie, and I love how like Snoke is basically saying like, yeah, you're no Vader, you're just like an angry fanboy. And I love how like Kylo Ren's like, yeah, you know what, like screw this, he's just smashing his helmet, and I love that part of the movie because it's, yeah, like, don't be like Darth Vader, you're never going to be the next Darth Vader, be your own person. And I also like how Luke Skywalker is basically giving like the audience like a moral lesson, because in the movie you do see, spoiler alert, you do see Yoda come back, and oh my god, I freaking gasped when I saw Yoda come back on screen, seeing how like the two of them are like basically telling each other, yeah, like Luke is saying like, I can't be the teacher Rey needs me to be. And then Yoda's like, did I not tell you that like pass on all your teachings, including your failures, because from our failures we learn to grow from them. And like hearing that come from Yoda, I'm actually getting a little choked up right now. I actually like that lesson that he gives them, because when you really think about it, failure is the greatest teaching we all can receive, because from our failures we learn from them. We learn to stand up after we have fallen, and I love that. And so going back to the action of the movie, I freaking love like, yeah, like the throne room battle between like Kylo Ren, Rey, like the freaking like Praetorian Knights, whatever, or I forget what they were called, but those Red Knights, those are freaking awesome. I love seeing like how like they're just fighting them. I thought that was pretty cool. And I also love like the Battle of Crait, where you see all the red dust being kicked up in the air. And again, like spoiler alert if you haven't seen The Last Jedi, but that last like fight in the movie where you see like all of a sudden you see like Luke Skywalker walk into the scene, and you hear the music dun 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 dun. Seeing that, I was like, oh my god, it's about to get real now. You can see just how powerful Luke Skywalker is. I thought that was so freaking awesome when he's just confronting Kylo Ren, and he's like, you see Kylo Ren going like, after I killed you, I will kill the last Jedi. And then Luke's like, amazing, everything he said in that sentence was completely wrong. And I love like those final words that Luke said to Kylo Ren, which was like, if you kill me, I will not be the last Jedi, or something like that. But I also like how, if you strike me down in anger, I will always be with you, just like your dad. And then you see him just go at him, and then Luke just goes, see you around, kid. That was so cool. Like he basically made Kylo Ren look like a fool in front of the First Order. I was like, and when I saw that, I was like, oh man, that's pretty awesome. So I mean, yes, despite all the hate it gets from angry fans, I really like The Last Jedi. I think it's one of the most ballsiest one out of all the new Star Wars movies, because it did something different. It took its own unique direction, and for me, it paid off. I thought it was really good. So with that being said, at number 2 on our list, I actually have Star Wars: A New Hope, because when you really think about it, without Star Wars: A New Hope, there wouldn't be a Star Wars franchise, and it was A New Hope that basically sparked this amazing like universe. And I love every aspect of this movie. You get the comic relief from R2 and 3PO, you get the swashbuckling from Han Solo, you get the wise old teacher, the old Gandalf from Obi-Wan Kenobi, you get Luke Skywalker, who is the hero, you get Princess Leia, you get the bad guy of the movie, Darth Vader. And it all just blends in together to make this beautiful film that just sparked this whole fandom and universe. And I love how basically like Obi-Wan is giving like Luke his lightsaber, like your father's lightsaber. And I love seeing how like he's fighting Vader on the Death Star, and it's like one of the greatest lines in that movie is like, if you strike me down in anger, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. What does Vader do? crunch, strikes him down, but at the same time, you see Obi-Wan become one with the Force, which is like even way more powerful than Darth Vader. And another great moment of that movie is, yes, the Death Star trench run. I love seeing that, where you're seeing like basically like Luke Skywalker going down the trenches of the Death Star, getting ready to shoot that torpedo into that like exhaust port, whatever, and seeing that, it's like, ah! And also, if you watch Rogue One, you kind of immediately want to watch A New Hope right after that, which is pretty damn awesome. And I also love seeing how Han Solo basically makes this drastic turn from when we first met him, because when we first met him, he was only in it for the money. He didn't care about anybody else. All he cared about was him, Chewie, and the ship. And seeing him like basically like from the beginning, he's like, I'm only in this for the money, I don't care what happens to Princess Leia, to be at the end of the movie where he's flying the Millennium Falcon to the Death Star, where he shoots Darth Vader out of the sky, giving Luke Skywalker the chance to fire his missiles and destroys the whole Death Star. I mean, like, it's pretty damn good. I really like that. And the movie ends off perfectly, where you see basically like everyone getting the medals and like the music dun 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 dun. I mean, I may have to watch A New Hope right now, actually. I mean, just thinking about it gets me all giddy. So that's why I put this at number 2 on my Star Wars list. And so with that being said, sitting at number 1 on this list is always going to be The Empire Strikes Back. I mean, I freaking love that movie. I love the Han Solo and Leia interaction in that movie, seeing how they're falling in love with one another. I love the comedy relief that comes from 3PO. I love seeing Luke learn from Yoda about the ways of the Force. I love seeing Vader on his pursuit to get Luke Skywalker to join the dark side. I love that final confrontation we have on Cloud City. I mean, for me, the whole movie is just, it's just, I'll chef kiss every single moment of that movie. It's so freaking good. I love every single one of it. It's not afraid to end up on a dark note. We do see like Luke get his hand chopped off, and that famous reveal where Darth Vader reveals that he is Luke Skywalker's father. I mean, every aspect of that movie, it just, oh, I love it. And I love how like basically the romance between Han and Leia, how like they're kind of playing it like, yeah, we're not into each other, but at the very end when Han Solo is about to be frozen in carbonite and Leia just goes, I love you, and then you hear Han Solo just go, I know. It's like, oh, beautiful. That movie's so perfect in every way, and so that's why I put The Empire Strikes Back as my number 1 favorite Star Wars film of all time. Well guys, that's going to do it for this video. That was my rundown through all my favorite Star Wars films of all time. If you like what you saw, click on the subscribe button so you can get all the latest updates from this channel. If you have any questions or topics you want me to talk about in the next Talk Around the Block, feel free to leave in the comments down below. Stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye-bye.